When the Saints and Falcons meet up, it's always a time, and the November 26, 2023 face-off was no different. Ludacris performed during halftime as he rappelled from the roof of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Atlanta got the W. I'm sure Saints fans are still mad about that. Those Atlanta and New Orleans fans are serious. No, but really, it's like cousins getting together. A lot of trash talk, but it's still all love though. They had over 100 artists and producers in attendance. But the most ludicrous situation at the game was the altercation that happened on live in one of the suites occupied by T.I. and his wife Tani, along with a bunch of other friends and family. T.I. walked the Falcons out and it was a nice moment.
Bring 'em out.
But the moment with one of his sons, King, was not so nice. Now, their son King is desperately trying to show the world that he's some project baby that had it so rough and tough growing up when he was literally raised in a mansion in the suburbs, and when he wasn't at his mom and dad's house, he wasn't too far away. He was over at his grandmother's house, who also lived in a decent community. I mean, this whole thing is very twisted, by the way. The kid's really from the ghetto, wishing nothing more than the opportunity to escape the jungle, while a privileged, entitled, spoiled brat is wishing he was really from the projects so he could have street credibility. Why, I don't know, and act like he's standing on business when he have no business to stand on. Like, cut it out. It's so ridiculous, and King is out here embarrassing himself and also being pumped up by a bunch of other rebels and misandrists and people who would love to see him crash like the dummy he is. So let's talk about it, but first, take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. So many lessons here, but here's one you've heard in the South forever: a hard head makes a soft behind. Being stubborn or resistant to advice or correction can and almost always will result in negative consequences. And although I do not wish the worst on anyone, I have to be honest about any of the folks we discuss here. But to the kings of the world, if you decide to move like this, being disrespectful, not listening and taking good counsel when people who have way more experience and better judgment than your undeveloped 19-year-old brain, if you fail to take heed to warnings, then you will suffer the consequences of your own bad behavior. So the Harris family went viral over the weekend after their dispute at the Falcons-Saints game. King was on live and decided to embarrass himself and the whole family.
King, have you ever woke up with a roach on your face?
Period. No, that's not the goal.
All right, then. So there it goes.
Or in your ear.
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
had in the neighborhood with me that broke up with roach
in your ear?
Y'all want to go to the bando and man my neighborhood? Do y'all want to go to the bando? Do y'all want to go to the bando?
Asking people over and over if they want to go to some poorhouse, like the people he's talking to in the room that's 2-3 times older than him didn't grow up in poverty because they had no other choice. No, King, the bando is a museum to you and it shows. This guy is on live trying to act like he's so hood, and he's got the hood people in the background telling him to stop. No, you did not wake up with roaches crawling on you or crawling in your ear. But King's mind is so twisted, he's offended that he didn't have that experience, so he said that he's got guys that roll with him that woke up with roaches. This is just stupid. It's obviously a good thing that King never woke up with roaches because his daddy provided an environment for him where he did not have to go through that, and then he's telling people to go look at the bando over by his grandmama's house. That's another thing. King got a lot of you internet people fooled. Mima is Tiny's mama, Diane. And I'm telling you, Miss Diane's neighborhood is also in the suburbs. It's a nice little cul-de-sac right up there. The house a couple thousand square feet. She's been in that house for years. His Mima did not live in no ghetto. I don't know why people would believe this little liar, but King is saying anything to prove to the people that's bullying him that he grew up just as rough as them when he did not. And that's a blessing. That's not a bad thing. Young people, you have to learn this very early. Don't go through life fumbling opportunities thinking there will always be another.
To make him look better, he know not true. Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life.
How is T.I. saying that his son grew up with a silver spoon is making T.I. look better and somehow making King look bad? And then he's saying it's not true. That's another lie. And what I noticed throughout this whole argument, this little guy kept lying. And what he would do was just get louder and louder and more emotional to try to win an argument, and he was just losing. Why? Because he was the one lying. When he was born, both his parents had money and fame. Tiny had been a star since she was a teenager. Any way you cut it, you're privileged. No matter if it was at the mansion or if it was at your grandmother's house. Your daddy took care of all of y'all. And not just Tiny's mom, but he's been taking care of his own mom as well.
You did have a silver spoon.
Look, Tip used to have to come to my grandma's house because I'm getting in the fight.
You cried like a baby to go to your grandmama's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath
Every
and
day.
throw tantrums to go over there.
I don't want to be in these gates. I want to be outside in the neighborhood. That's why I want to be over there. But they don't understand that.
No, I'm going to tell you the reason why he want to be over there. Y'all ready? Because he can suck and pacify over there till he was 12 years old. He was suck and pacify till he was 12 years old. He couldn't do that in the house.
You cried like a baby. Hold your breath.
Yeah.
They try to say I was over there trying to second pass it, but they ain't gonna tell you everything like that. They trying to hide it.
Ain't nobody hiding
Sugarcoat it. He capping. He capping. Hey, he know I stand on business. He know that. Can't ever pull my car ever in life. I stand on business. You drop me somewhere, I stand on business.
Could you imagine somebody being offended by somebody telling them that they grew up on the wealthy side? Why is that something to be offended by? Number one, he shouldn't even be recording this, but he's trying to show out on live, and those are the people that he's trying to impress and convince that he's just like them. And here's another admission, because not long ago, he tried to paint a picture like he was somehow abandoned at his Mima's house. He just said, I didn't want to be in the gates, the mansion. I wanted to go over there. They're arguing about this when they're saying the same thing. The point is, nobody abandoned you at your grandmother's house. You wanted to be there. Now, why do you want to be there? His Mima did not discipline him. And she also used to get in the way of T.I. disciplining him. Tiny did too. There's been occasions when both of them undermined him. Now look what they created. He wanted to go over there to his grandmother's house because she did not discipline him at all. She allowed him to do whatever he wanted to do. And he knew he couldn't play those same games with T.I.'s sister Precious or T.I.'s mama. You cannot raise a little black boy without discipline. It's going to be a bad ending.
You drop me in your hood, I stand on business.
I don't feel like you stand on business.
Yeah, I've been stood on business. I've been stood on business. You want to hide it for the world, I'm going to put it out there for them to see. I want to put up nowhere. You ain't had me put up nowhere. Like, you ain't had me behind the mansion. I was outside doing what I wanted to do.
This little guy is so goofy. You did not live for free. You did not provide for yourself. Even when you went to your grandmother's house, it was still your daddy taking care of your grandma. This right here is the disrespect that I just can't stand. I can't take it.
You was behind that till you cried.
No. Got too much to drink. Drunk too much. Drunk too much. Let's go.
And by this time, he should have been thrown out of the suite. He's steady gaslighting his parents, and he's trying to discredit them by saying they're drunk. Very disrespectful. When you can hear T.I. in the background, he made a lot of sense. And he was very coherent.
I'm mad because we say the South ain't the suburbs. Then he want to talk about some other.
And here we go. Once again, he is lying. But what he's depending on is that most of the people watching this, they don't know what he's talking about, so they won't be able to tell what he's lying about. What he's saying is that the South is not the suburbs. No different from the Migos having a lot of out-of-towners thinking that the north side of Atlanta was Lawrenceville. That's not Atlanta. Just like the area that he's talking about, he's trying to call it the South as if it's South Atlanta. No, it's McDonough, it's Jonesboro, it's Stockbridge. That's the suburbs. This is a good thing. Most people will want to live in a mansion in McDonough or a decent neighborhood in Clayton County over Mechanicsville and Pittsburgh in the city. And King is trying to lie in front of the audience, telling them that that's not the suburbs, and it is. It is not Atlanta. Please don't make me call Amaretta on you.
Look, the North is not Atlanta. No. The South is not Atlanta.
I'm mad because we say the South ain't the suburbs. Then he want to talk about some other. Just being. No, I'm being real. You lying. You up here flagging. You're capping. You capping. You capping. You capping.
Okay, I'll stop it there. Most of you already know what happened next. King did not stand on business, and his daddy had to check him. Nothing to see here. This is what happens when you raise spoiled, entitled children with no discipline. And most children today are being raised like that. This is why the weakest crop of people ever are growing up in this time. This young man has no discipline, no respect, He never respected authority. He's been had that problem. He argues like an illogical, emotional woman. He's got a thing for repeating lies over and over. I mean, even simple stuff that can be verified. And he'll talk louder and louder, attempting to drown out logic. And he's setting himself up for big trouble. People keep saying it's deeper, it's deeper. It's nothing deeper besides a brat who grew up with no discipline and had everything he wanted, didn't have to work for nothing. Had a bunch of Gucci, television, and fame, but no real values in real life. So he could never stand on business. All these rich kids with these violins, put them up. You have way more opportunities than most people in this country. Most people in the world. You're in a skybox talking about standing on business in the streets in a bando. All while completely ignoring the opportunities sitting all around you and destroying what could be your future deals. Nah, that's not standing on business. Allowing his jealousy and emotions to get the best of him. See, King is very disrespectful, but he's looking for the same type of respect that men like his daddy had to work hard to get. But he's trying to get it without doing anything. And that's the problem with most kids today and most people. They want respect with no work and no accomplishments. You should have been in the skybox talking business with real business people that's up there too, instead of trying to talk pookie babble when you're not even pookie. Just stop this. And the only people I saw agreeing with King are mostly misandrous and rebels. Mostly women who have emotional issues and daddy issues of their own, or other jealous young men who don't even know their daddy and would love to see King crash like a dummy. Saying something about, if I was a mistake, just say that, or you don't really mess with me. No, you're disrespectful, and even disrespectful family members. You have to distance yourself away from them. They will cause you to lose everything. Little demons like King, they were ruining for everybody, including all the other family members that are depending on T.I. I say refer him to a therapist and drop him off in Mechanicsville without the security guards in a car. Let him take the MARTA and figure out life on his own since he want to be disrespectful. King should get off the internet, stop being goofy, and stop fumbling his future, because all of this is going to remain on the internet. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started below in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. Shout out to Latavia, Cynthia, Tiffany, and Jason. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.